speaker speak.
Second.
A motion and a second to suspend the rules to allow a speaker to speak this evening. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll take our speaker. We only have one speaker this evening. Mr. McQueen, if you would again come to the podium and state your name and your home address for the clerk, please. And you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Steve McQueen. I live at 3007 Lincoln Hill Northeast here in Quincy. I believe to speak on anything would be a waste of the taxpayers' dollars and my time to stand before you simply to make the point that I can stand before you. I realize that based on the current set of rules, either written or implied, you could have voted me down if you thought this was inappropriate. The reason for the subject of anything is that since you have to make your request to speak by 11 a.m. on Friday and the agenda isn't published until Friday afternoon, it is impossible to request to speak to an item on the agenda. I'm concerned about the chasm that exists between asking to speak and getting approved to speak. I'm aware that this council is well within the boundaries of the law as it exists not to allow any public comment from citizens at all. I further understand that there is a section in the city code that allows for citizen comment at city council meetings when approved by the majority vote of the council. The issue is the fact that the council already allows public comment, but then you restrict the ability to gain approval to speak via your voting method. I've requested to speak on 2 separate occasions where the topic was identical and represented business of the city of Quincy both times. On one occasion I was denied, and on the other I was allowed to speak. My topic didn't change, and I assume the rules didn't change, so it seems this council had to change. If my topic was worthy of being heard on my second attempt, why wasn't it worthy of being heard the first time I requested to speak? Mr. Dusterhouse conveyed on both occasions that it was because my topic, the budget and the water sewer fee increases, wasn't specifically on the agenda that evening. I must commend Mr. Dusterhouse for his consistency. I disagree with his premise that issues are off limits for comment once approved by the council. After the May 4th council meeting, Mayor Springs stated the following during an interview with Les Sachs, and I quote, "It was supposed to be a special night. Unfortunately, that got overshadowed. That's a very sad thing in my mind that Quincy deserved better than that. I didn't think it was appropriate for that group, from that standpoint, to come and basically disrupt that ceremony," end quote. The swearing in took place before the business meeting was called to order, and everyone, including myself, applauded the incoming elected officials. I didn't realize that May 4, 2009, the city council meeting was any different than any other business meeting. Mayor Springs also continued with the following quote, "It's grown because of certain people in the community that created that. That's what they do every day, attack the city of Quincy," Springs said. "That's what they live for, is to attack the city of Quincy and the people that work here. That's how it's blown into a proportion that's way out," end quote. I think I've been extremely respectful, especially considering the circumstances, and unless voicing my concerns about an ordinance or a budget is considered an attack, I don't believe I've attacked anyone. In Mr. Sachs' interview, he stated that the Quincy Charter does allow for a vote by council members to allow or reject a request to address the council. Despite claims from former Quincy mayors, Mayor Springs said he had looked into the issue and that it has happened on several occasions. I agree on both points. And in the instances where it occurred, the residents of the city were engaged in some form of litigation or legal proceeding with the city. To continue Mr. Sachs' comments, Mayor Springs commended McQueen and the group surrounding him on the way McQueen and his group handled the decision without uproar. He said that maybe a request would have been better considered by those voting against it on another night. I thank you for that compliment, Mr. Mayor, because I do believe that we have continually been respectful. This voting mechanism creates the opportunity for the City Council via the municipal code to silence its constituents based on their political views or because any member or members of the council might not care to hear from a particular citizen or group or their concerns. Mr. Black's proposed ordinance allows for a citizens forum that requires the following. A citizen forum shall be conducted each meeting. The rules shall be suspended and the floor open for public input. Any member of the public may speak for 3 minutes. A unanimous vote of those present shall be required to resume the rules before all those desiring to speak have had their turn. I am asking you to bring Mr. Black's proposed ordinance to the council, vote on it, and remove the potential for political bias or censorship from these proceedings. There is no harm in hearing from your constituents. Hopefully, I've shown that asking to speak about anything is not a threat to the City Council. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McQueen. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight